Hi, I'm David Finkelstein. I'm a lawyer in Sarasota, Florida. I practice estate planning and trial work. I've been doing this for 40 years and I have one employee. I had a challenge that I thought remote legal staff could really help me with. I had a problem with competent help here in my little town. It's not a big labor pool. And I thought that remote legal staff, the fact that they were drawing from all over the world, they would get more competent people. And that's proven to be true. I really appreciate the folks at Remote Legal Staff for doing that for me. Before I hired someone, I explored several different ways and didn't have a whole lot of success. I tried to hire in my little labor pool here in little Sarasota, Florida, and I tried to go to several of the recruiting sites. They weren't much help because there was no vetting. You just see a name on there and their own description of themselves. And of course, no assistance afterwards. Remote legal staff was very different. I had talked to other similar places, and remote legal staff was completely different. They vetted very well, and they do a lot of other things. They advised me, told me what was a good thing to do. So I'm very happy with remote legal staff. I had tried once before to work offshore, and I thought it could be a good situation, but just the way it was implemented, they just gave me a name and I just got together with them. And it's not that easy because this person came from Bulgaria and there are some differences. And they didn't really tell her a lot about what it was like here. And they didn't tell me about what she would like. And it made a lot more work for both of us. And she stayed for a while and then wandered off. And so I was really delighted when I heard that remote legal staff does do the vetting and does educate both sides about how this works. The thing about remote legal staff that stood out to me was what I had heard from other people about the quality of the candidate. I like to get the best candidate that I can, and they said you really get good people, very experienced, very vetted, very knowledgeable, very motivated, and that's what stood out to me was the quality of the candidates. Remote legal staff provided me with an unusual amount of very qualified people. It was tough to decide. They had all the qualifications I had requested. They listened very carefully. I wanted someone that was smart, that was could think on their feet, that was very pleasant, good with clients, helped me remember to do things. I'm kind of bad about that. And also just had a desire to do well and a desire to help me. She really cares. And that's a big thing when someone cares. My experience with the remote legal staff, when they were getting me candidates was just wonderful. I needed somebody very quickly. And they very quickly got a lot of candidates, so many that I had to ask them, could they just narrow it down to 3? And they did. And like all the others, they were all equally qualified and just amazing, astonishing, actually. Onboarding experience with remote legal staff was incredible. First of all, that it existed, and second of all, that it was so good. They educated me on remotely having staff, and they educated Sandy, and it was just very quality experience, very detailed, and really cared about whether I was understanding it. They didn't just throw it at me. They would interact with me and anticipate if I wasn't understanding something. They just stayed with me. Remote legal staff provided me with a lady named Sandy, and it was very easy to train her. She knew a lot about American law. She knew a lot about everything. It was just almost instantaneous, which is really nice. I think that with remote legal staff, you're not going to have as much training time, but you don't want to just bypass that. It's very important that your staff understands what you're doing. You know, if you take a few minutes to make sure that they do understand, that'll save you a lot of time in the future, and it'll also be more comfortable for your staff. Nobody likes to be doing something they don't really understand, so it's worth it. But I would say to somebody who is only hiring locally and a little nervous about hiring the offshore staff, ask around. People will tell you very good things about remote legal staff. I think you'll find somebody better than who you have there. And of course, the price is kind of amazing. It's worth it. You really have to try it. At that price, you really have to try it. I would say to lawyers who might be concerned about what kind of tasks the candidates from remote legal staff will be able to do, you tell them what tasks that they're going to need to do, and they'll find people who can do those tasks. Anything that you're concerned about, just ask them. If you're concerned about their accent, it's made to order. Legal staff found me a wonderful girl named Sandy. The tasks that she can do were just surprising. I gave them a list. She could do much more than that. She drafts beautifully, and she speaks beautifully. Phone, emails, they're just very eloquent and very professional. She keeps my calendar, which is a big job with me because I just don't remember things well. I got a lot going into my head, out of my head. She helps me with that. She checks my emails, makes sure nothing falls through the cracks. She does things for me. She'll ask me what I might need. She's good at that. She's good at reminding me about stuff. If she has to, she'll do it every hour. And this has changed my life in a big way, mostly because it gives me time and keeps me from having to worry about anything. I give it to Sandy, and that's all I've got to do. I can work more clients. My head is clearer, and my life is just a lot better. I really like what Remote Legal Staff has done for me. In providing me Sandy, Remote Legal Staff really helped me with the software that I use and the systems that I use. She was very familiar with the software. She helps me all the time. And we've both taken a few courses on it. She didn't know Adobe, but she picked it up right away. And again, she's better at it than me. She's very talented. And Remote Legal Staff has helped me tremendously in that area. My employee from Remote Legal Staff knows about security and confidentiality. I always talk to people about it, and she was right there with the program. I can tell that Remote Legal Staff had vetted her in that regard. Remote Legal Staff gives you ongoing support, which was kind of surprising to me. They're there. They're still there. If I want to ask them something, which I do, I'm often too close to a situation or an employee situation. I'm not an expert at that, and they really are. I can also ask them and do what other lawyers do in a situation, and that's invaluable. I'm very impressed that they're still there for me. Remote Legal Staff has a wonderful system of feedback that makes it so that I don't have to say anything to her about any problems or situations. I tell June, my success manager, I think he's called, and he tells her, and it goes just very pleasant. She had something for me that I was doing what I really don't want to do, which is handing her something and not giving her enough information about it. I really try not to do that, and I did. And she talked very matter-of-factly with June, and he talked very matter-of-factly with me, and it just got taken care of with no awkwardness on either of our parts. Working with Remote Legal Staff employees has been much easier than with in-house people, because with in-house people, you've got to walk around physically, talk to each one, and you don't end up doing any work. Sandy is right there on my desk, about 10 inches away on her monitor, and we keep a Zoom line open. We're just there with each other all day, and we go over things. We'll be working along, and I'll say, "How do you spell what?" Whatever. A lot of things I do is I ask her how she would say this better. She helps me, and I like to make sure that I'm not wasting my time. So I ask her what she's working on. She asks me what I'm working on. It keeps us both honest. Offshore staff much more efficient than onshore staff because you can get right to the point. And you don't have to do a whole integration into a conversation. You just look up and say, what about this? What about that? Also, we both work very efficiently and more accurately when we're watching each other. And there's a distance between people that are working in-house, and there's no distance between someone on your monitor. Your minds are almost working together, especially if you're doing the same thing on the same case. And you just don't get that, like I say, when you have a lot of people all wanting to ask you questions. they're physically there. My expectations for working with remote legal staff were already high because I'd heard a lot about them and heard that they're wonderful. There's wonderful and there's wonderful, and they're just amazing, astonishing, really. I never thought that I could get this kind of help, and I'm so much calmer about in my life. I feel more confident, like things are going to be taken care of. I can take on a lot more clients, so I'm making more money. So there's always that. Whatever your expectations are, remote legal staff is going to exceed them greatly. Some people may be concerned that it's harder to manage remote staff. It's not. It's easier. What we do, and I recommend this, is I have a Zoom connection going all day, and she's there on my monitor and I'm on her monitor. I can watch everything she does if I want to, and same with me. With in-house staff, there's a distance, which doesn't sound like it would make sense. But with remote staff, you are making sure you're connected, so you are. I feel much more connected and much more on the same page with the staff that remote legal staff has provided me than I ever did with in-house staff. One of the things about remote legal staff that I really appreciate is how often and the quality of their interaction with me. They ask very detailed questions, and they've always been detailed and very knowledgeable about the industry that I'm in. They have a meeting scheduled every 2 weeks, and a lot of times I have nothing to bring up, but then they bring up something that I never thought about. So very, very high quality of interaction. I didn't know that my efficiency and interacting with my clients could use some help until remote legal staff got me Sandy. Several clients have said to me that she's great, and sometimes they'd rather talk to her because she knows what's actually going on. And she'll call people on her own when she thinks that I haven't spoken to them enough. She can really read the client. She knows which client needs some love. That's just fantastic. Since hiring Sandy through remote legal staff, I have saved an ungodly amount of time. I'm afraid to calculate it because it'll say how much I was wasting before, but gosh, more than 50-60% time is saved. When you're a solo practitioner, you're the finder, the minder, and the grinder, and you end up not doing any of them fast or as well. And she's allowed me just to practice law, which I'm fast at, and saves a lot of time. Since remote legal staff got Sandy and I together, I have much more time for the things that I enjoy. I'm a solo practitioner, so I was doing all of the administrative work, finding employees, doing the small tasks of a firm and of a lawsuit. She helps me with depositions and discovery, and I'm able to feel like a lawyer again. Remote legal staff, when they got me Sandy, they saved me a lot of money. I was leaving a lot of money on the table because I forget to put a time slip in. And without me mentioning it or thinking of it, Sandy one day told me that she was writing down what I did and how long it took, because she's right there on the other monitor. And she gave me a list, kind of a billing worksheet with all these things that I'd forgotten I did and all this time. So I was able to bill more for the clients. It was a lot of money. If you ever forgotten a time slip, hundreds, thousands of dollars can happen from that. The tangible benefits that I've experienced while working with Sandy from remote legal staff, that she's taken on my bookkeeping. Because as you can imagine, if you've got a big case coming up and bills come in the box, you've got to take care of the client first. And it's been a real challenge for me, and now it's just a piece of cake. There's other type of administrative tasks that solo practitioner has trouble getting to. If something's broken, if we need to call the power company. I've actually had the power shut off before, and she's preventing that from happening. And she's doing it because she really wants to take care of me. She cares what's going on with me. She takes these tasks upon herself, and it's really a good feeling to have somebody like that with you. I'm very excited to be working with remote legal legal staff because, finding one person is hard enough. If I want to get more people, I'm being helpful. They will be helping me do that. I mentioned something to Sandy about that. I said, let's get somebody else in. And like she always does, she's very wise. She says, David, it's too early for that. So at some point, we'll do that when Sandy lets me. The return on investment, if you are a numbers person and you see that you're paying $20 less per hour and you multiply that by 2,000 hours, that's $40,000 a year. I'm going to retire in about 12 years. I'm going to retire with $500,000 more dollars I have right now. That's very significant. There's been other cost savings too. She's been doing things that I often have or that take away from my billable time. So like I say, she's doing just about everything and leaving me to do the law, to argue motions, to write motions, to enjoyable and more efficient experience. If you're on the fence about hiring someone from remote legal staff, I assure you that the quality of the work and at least equal and many times better. The fact that someone's from another country, there's a lot of people in other countries. That means there's a lot more qualified people. And remote legal staff, they work very hard and find good people from all over the world. The reason I would recommend remote legal staff is there's three major things. The quality of the candidates is unmatched. I can't find people of that quality in my small pool, but when you've got half the world, you're going to find better people. They are, and this is not just hyperbole, they are your HR department, and they're really good. And the price is astonishing too. I could hire two or three people for the price of one person here. One thing I'd like to say about my experience with remote legal staff is that I don't feel alone anymore. I'm a solo practitioner, and I didn't realize how alone I was. The attention that they give me and the caring that they give me is significant to the way my day and my week and my life go. They're nice people, they're good people, and they become good friends. And that's something that's very important to me and something I really appreciate from them. My experience with remote legal staff has been very positive, from the quality of Sandy's work and just her personality and motivation to the HR staff that I have now. And it's not just an HR staff, it's a great HR staff. Price is almost criminal. It's $20 less than I pay here. And if you multiply that out over the 12 years that I plan to work, I'll be retiring with $500,000 more otherwise, and that's significant. With that, seeing that it's $20 an hour less, you have to try it. That's how I felt about it. You have to try it. You owe it to yourself and your family to take a look. I don't see it as a risk, but if you do, then take the risk. You don't have to. You're not tied to it forever. You can try it and see if it works. It will. You'll like it.